Welcome back to another SCBWI featured illustrator interview. My name is Tamika Grooms, and I'm the Design and Illustration Manager for SCBWI. Every month, we select an Illustrator member to spotlight on the SCBWI website and social media pages to highlight the work that they're doing in the children's illustration market. This month's featured illustrator is Heegyum Kim. Heegyum, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. So let's talk about your artwork. I want to say this first because I think it's really important for people to know how we find people. A lot of times we're looking for submissions from our featured illustrators, for people who want to be featured illustrators on the website through the email. Sometimes we find you by searching the website through the illustration gallery. Sometimes we find you online in the SCBWI Draw This. And I think I first heard about you, it might have possibly been on a portfolio showcase maybe a year or so ago. And the judges were really impressed with your work at that time. So I made a mental note about artists who, submit that have some really promising work. And even though they may not have won the portfolio showcase, that there's definitely a place for them somewhere else to be highlighted on the website or somewhere in SCBWI. So I'm so happy that you submitted your artwork, and thank you so much for chatting with me today.
Of course.
All righty, so let's start with this. I want everybody to learn a little bit about your process of creating your artwork, and I'll show a piece of the artwork just so that they can see what's featured. But I want everybody to kind of learn about your process, because what I found about your art is that the colors, the textures, the way you present your characters is really interesting. So tell us a little bit about how you create art.
I think it's about everybody has all the same process, I guess. So when I have an assignment or subject to draw, I start with ideation, of course, and I really cannot find any ideas just in front of my desk. So it usually happens when I take for a walk with my dogs, or sometimes cooking, sometimes like having house chores, something like that. I just remembering what I want to draw in my mind and keep thinking about it. And once I have some ideas that I really like, I start sitting in front of my desk and start um, making thumbnail sketches. And you probably cannot really read my thumbnail sketches. It's really messy. and and sometimes it's all similar, sometimes it's really hard to read. But I make several thumbnail sketches, and after that I make a really proper sketches. But this sketch really depends on the details of the sketch really depends on the subject I want to draw or the materials I want to use. Sometimes it's really detailed, and sometimes it's not. It's really has some positions of the characters and something like that on the over the paper. And after the sketch, I start coloring, of course. And after coloring, I scan it digitally and retouch sometimes and add details or change the color if I want. Yeah, I think that's about my process.
So you mostly work in traditional media and then take it into the computer?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I really like asking that question because a lot of times people ask, do you have to work in digital? And I like to ask artists this question because everybody has a different way of getting to that digital part, which is eventually where it will last. So I've probably driven that point home enough over these interviews, but it's really important for people to hear, like, what is your process to getting to that point?
Yeah, sometimes people also ask me about that part. I think for me like who works analog, I think it's still very important to know the essential part of the digital world. It's really makes my life easier. It's always, especially when you work with client work, it's easy to change the color. It makes always easy to make changes a lot easier without any pain. Yeah, and sometimes when I especially do client work, I make sketches in digital, and this makes my life a lot easier. It's like enlarge the character, make change the position of the character, something like that. Yeah.
Mhm. So since you're talking about characters, I know that you have a red fox that tends to appear. Well, it has a placement on your website. Tell us a little bit about the red fox and what that inspiration is from. And also, do you have favorite things that you like to illustrate?
Yeah, of course. The fox, the red fox, it's called Mr. Fox. It really happened a long time ago when I just started drawing seriously about, I think it happened in 2016 or something like that. And the Mr. Fox was created while I was participating the 100 Days of Challenging Art on Instagram. And it started as like my daily document, kind of daily diary series, cartoony diary series. It was, of course, me. And at that time, I was working full time as a graphic designer, and it was like reflecting my thoughts every day, the life that I had every time I commute, something like that. I really I'm mumbling here. So, yeah, it's this is kind of the latest work. So it's evolved a lot from the beginning. It's I didn't show my oldest Mr. Fox drawing here anymore, but and then it changed it. Like I made these drawings last year, and it was about it's when if I just told you that I started Mr. Fox when I was working full time as a designer, but then this time, this Mr. Fox shows that already the full time artist already. So I'm here. I'm talking more about my it's like a formation words to me. It's the I the living as an artist is really tough. So I'm talking to myself that the things is gonna be better and you can make this, the dream can come true, something like that.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's important though, and you make fun out of it because you have this character that can kind of express the emotions that are inside of you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And it's probably helping other people out there as well.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. He's a really cute character. And I think that's great to have, you know, something that you can kind of go to and bring that character to life in a lot of different ways. And it's your own personal work, so it's not for a specific project, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
like the coworkers, I used to have a real people coworker before, then now I have my coffee machine and coffee cups on my desk as a coworkers, and sometimes I almost drink the paint water just next to me instead of coffee.
I've done that before too. Yeah. Really fun to drink
Yeah,
coffee, tea, or wine
yeah,
when you're meaning to paint. So
yeah.
Um, I want to ask you about, so it seems like you have some offerings. I believe it's under your book section here. And then we'll go to look at your artwork. But since you're talking about inspiring, well, in my ways, I feel like you're inspiring to other artists. You have these books here, and one of them is drawing animals and how to make
Mhm.
them cute. So for me, animals are, I can draw animals, but it's not my favorite thing to draw. So I'll probably be purchasing this book. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the books you have to offer here?
So the Draw 62 Animals, those like I think it was published in 2018 or something like that. And it's about showing you how to draw animals step by step in a cute way, in a funny, cartoony way.
Mhm,
Yeah, animals is always my favorite drawing subject. It's like endless possibilities. I see the endless possibilities when I draw them.
mhm.
So I can imagine what they are thinking, and what do they wear, how do they act. And
Yeah.
giving the personality in animals is really fun, and you really don't need to worry about any political things, something like that. So drawing animal is really the fun stuffs to illustrate for me.
Hmm.
But on the other hand, I find drawing human is really difficult. I cannot really find any inspiration when I draw humans.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just the opposite, but when I look at how you approach these characters, it really does make me want to, kind of explore your book because these look so fun. Like the just the eyes and you can see the personality come through, even though they're simple shapes and lines. But you're adding texture, you're adding expressiveness, and there's so much that's coming through on a simple drawing, and it's fun.
Yeah, it's really fun. I have two corgis, so I sometimes talk to them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they are like my inspiration.
Yeah. Before I leave this page, I want to say that I've seen an alpaca in real life and they're not this cute at all. So
Oh, really? I never
not-
met them.
they're not that cute. I mean, they're cute, but they're not cute the way you've drawn them. So all right, let's hop on over to your illustrations. So you actually had several illustrations that we were looking at. I really appreciated this one, this first one here, for the Year of the Dragon. And but we did not select this one. Let me show you the one that we did select, and then we'll scoot on back up to the other one. So this is the one that we selected. And I don't, oh, my screen won't go, but so big. Um, well, we'll have it up on our website. But when I first saw this, the way I look at art, the first thing I usually look at is rhythm and composition and color. And then I get into the details. So when I first saw it, I just appreciated it for the way you composed the whole piece. And I thought it would be a thing to show on our website. But then I started getting into the characters and I was like, wow, she's got some great stuff here. You all may not be able to see it on the screen, but just having the animals interacting with the humans and all the things that are going on in this market, I just kept finding things as I looked at it more, and it's a lot of fun. So yeah, can you tell us a little bit about this piece?
Yeah, I one of my the goal as an artist last year was drawing a big piece. I usually work on a small piece like 5 by 7 or 7 by 10, something like that. So I wanted to make something really big last year, and this one was the first one I did last year. And how did I start with that? Why did I choose the subject? I was building a portfolio piece last year, so and one of the subject in my drawing list was farmers market, so I just picked it up, and as because it is such a big one, and I didn't want to really mess up. It's big one, and I wanted to have really a lot of characters inside, but at the same time, um I don't want them in a sometimes when I draw big stuffs and with many details, it's really hard where should my eyes go first and the making the eyeballs. So I think I wanted my eyes starts from the bear and then a bear from the bear and then goes to the character with the girl with the black hair and then go to the alligator and the alligator's baby is looking at the band in the middle and the band in the middle also has some other characters around. I really like the dog. They are having a first for your love spots, and there's another old lady just behind the band, and then my eye goes to the tents on the back, and then goes slowly moves to the right side of the drawing, and then coming back to the bear.
Mhm. So what I was feeling when I saw your artwork was intentional. even though I wasn't aware of it. But what you described is what I felt when I saw your artwork. It wove you through the piece, and it brought you back around again. And that's how I see art, you know. And for me, it's like it doesn't matter like what style of art it is or how the artist, we use different materials and all that. That's not the important part. Like, how are you creating this art, and what are you trying to get the viewer to feel?
Yeah, I actually make another fish market drawing. I think it was 2021 or 2000, early 2022. And it was really a very complex drawing, but I found that I lost my eye flows there. It was too complicated. I don't know where to see, and all the characters were trembling together. So at this time, I wanted um focus on the eye flows and the colors and characters
Mhm.
that stands out individually, but still very harmoniously.
Yeah. One last question about this one. How long did it take you to create it?
I think it's more than 20 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm just gauging because I'm working on a piece now and it's complicated. Not as complicated as this, but I'm just curious about the amount of time that you can expect to put into all the details that you have here. Yeah. It's absolutely wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so I want to go back to your website. I just want to scroll through really quickly. We actually love this piece as well with the girl drawing at the art table. And that was a lot of fun. Lots to see here too. And feel free to talk about anything as I scroll down. You can just pause me. Lots of characters, expressive facial features. Are a lot of these personal pieces?
Yeah, many of them are personal.
Mhm. Yeah. I think that's really one of the things that we look for too, is what are the personal pieces that people are including on their websites as well. Um, I do remember this piece. I think it was from SCBWI Draw This, where you may have submitted this possibly, or it may have been in something else. I'm not sure, but I think I've seen this one before. And these little characters, I love them. One thing I want to ask you about at the very bottom, um, these monochromatic pieces. So a lot of times I don't see a lot of monochromatic pieces in portfolios. I really appreciated this. I don't know if it's because of my eyesight and I like contrast, but what made you decide to add these to your portfolio? And what were you playing with something? What was the inspiration behind this?
I didn't add my very first piece of Blue the Bear here, but I started this character and this kind of drawing when the COVID just started. And I was really depressed. I was caught inside home and I couldn't really meet anybody. It was really dark time. And when one day I was just thinking that was kind of hard and sad. And I was looking outside of the window and thinking about a bear staring aside, but
Hmm.
everything in blue because I love blue and it really calms me down. So I just picked up a blue pencil and then made a drawing just in blue and sometimes with the very small hint of red. And yeah, I don't know when people liked it, so I started making a series, and now there's a book published in French in France.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I like that you're drawing on your own life for inspiration. And so would I be correct in guessing that this bear actually represents you
Yeah,
or
of
is at
course.
least inspired by you? You
Yeah,
don't look like the bear.
yeah, and the bear and the little doggy is my husband.
Okay. Very cute. I love these pieces. And I'll have to check out the book that so the book is already produced, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect, perfect. Okay, well, oh, one more question. And what did you use to create this?
Color pencil.
Okay, okay, wonderful. Before we head out, are there any books that you would like to talk about that you have on the market?
Um, yeah, the Blue the Bear book I just talked about. It's published in last January in France. It's about a Blue the Bear character who loves the comfort of staying home so much. It's actually me. And he doesn't like disruption, his routines, and he wants to just prefer the solace of reading at home and drinking blueberry tea and eating the blueberry pie. He just wants to stand inside his comfort zone, but the story is about how he has to step out of his comfort zone and to get his beloved blueberry pie and realize that the little change is not that bad. So yeah, it was published in France, and I heard it's gonna be in Korean and Russian too. So yeah, I just hope it will be available in English soon, sometime
Yeah.
soon in the future.
That's exciting. That's exciting. I think it's something that a lot of us can relate to as well. And we do have to get out of our comfort zones. So before we leave, I have one more question about that. What do you do when you have challenges as an artist? Like, how do you get yourself out of if you ever go into struggles as an artist, what do you do?
Is it like artist block?
Hmm.
Uh,
That's a real thing.
uh, well, I don't know. It's really hard. When I have an artist bug, it happens a lot to me. I just stop drawing. I just stop drawing and just don't do anything for, I don't know, for a week or probably more until I feel comfortable. And during that time, I just try to do something else, like taking a walk with my dogs, or just having a conversation with my friends, or sometimes taking art classes online, and or browsing some other artist work. It's like stepping out into different world for a moment and then coming back. So yeah, it's like just pausing for a moment and doing something different. Sometimes
Yeah,
it helps.
that's great advice. If you all check out Heegyum's website, you'll see that she has a lot of offerings beyond her books. There's a Patreon as well. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Patreon?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So there's some things on there that you should click through and check out. Heegyum, before we go, can you tell us about your website address that we should follow, or Instagram, or anything that you'd like for us to follow you online?
Yeah, I have if you wanna check my the latest work frequently upload on Instagram and you can find my very selective works on my website. I also have YouTube that I talk about my art, illustration career, or sometimes market experience, something like that. So please visit.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, so thank you so much for being with me today. Your artwork is phenomenal, and I really enjoyed looking at it. And I know as I continue to look at it, I'm just going to keep finding more and more little nuggets to kind of let my eyes digest. So thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.